Hi guys, it's Hazel. My pronouns are he, him. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be answering all of your questions. Shout out to Darius Barrios for the video idea. And real quick before we get started, I want to thank the sponsors of my channel. Tina Harris, Jennifer Sexton, Sensory Dragon, and Lily Garofano. Thank y'all so much for your support. If you'd like to join them as members of this channel and get early access to my videos, shoutouts, and custom emojis, just follow the link in the description down below. And I also want to thank everyone watching because my channel just reached 40,000 subscribers. I never thought my channel would reach this many people, and I'm just really happy that I get to help so many people learn how to make candy. And also that I get to reach so many other trans people in a positive way. This channel and the people watching really mean a lot to me. And that's why, no matter what happens in my life, which has been absolutely crazy for the past 10 years, I've always come back here. And I've always just kept on making candy videos, and it just really warms my heart when people comment and they're like, hey, I just made this and I made it for my friend, or I made it for my mom, or I made it for my grandson. It's just, it's really sweet, and thank you all so much. Anyways, guys, let's get started. So the questions were pretty, evenly split between questions about candy and questions about my transition. So I thought we would start with mostly the candy questions and then do the transition related questions in the second half. So let's start with the candy questions. Max is a person asks, what kind of music do you listen to? And my music taste is pretty all over the place. I kind of just find random stuff on TikTok a lot. But I'm kind of back into my emo era right now. So here's a few of my favorite artists. Only a couple of them are emo. I just listen to those a lot. So here's some of my favorite artists at the moment. My Chemical Romance, The Used, Baby No Money, Hosier, and Kane Kulto. And then Max is a person also asks, how did you get into candy? And this is such a fun question. So there was this girl who was a friend of mine, and I had a really big crush on her in high school, and she started making candy. Maybe it was the last year or two that we were in high school, and I think I still have the candy piece that she made for me back then. It's a black and purple candy double. I try to keep all of the candy that I get. And then also, when I was 18, so my senior year of high school, I went to this big rave with my boyfriend and his brother and his brother's girlfriend. And they were really fun to hang out with. They had gotten basically free tickets to this rave because the first time they tried to throw this rave, it got shut down because there was parking violations or something that was considered a fire hazard. So they had to shut the whole thing down. So they threw a free one. So I got in free too, even though I wasn't at the original one. Anyway, I got some candy there. And that kind of just solidified my love of candy and my love of music festivals and stuff. And so then when I was in college, one day I was just at Walmart, and I walked through the craft aisle and I saw these rainbow neon pony beads, and I was looking at those makes me feel happy. It's probably because I have autism. looking back. But so I was like, just looking at these beads is making me feel stoked right now. So I just like bought a bunch of them and I went on YouTube and like found all these tutorials, and it became my special interest. And so just every day I'd be watching tutorials and making candy and running out of beads and having to go buy more. And my favorite YouTube channel for candy tutorials was Cellular Mango. Let me know in the comments if you remember Cellular Mango. Kev with 4 V's asks, is it difficult to start out making candy? So in my opinion, it's a really easy hobby to get into because, kind of like Minecraft, my other special interest, there's like, you can do anything, and like some of it's really easy and then some of it's really hard. So it's like, for all skill levels, there's gonna be something for you to make, and it's all fun to make. And then also, the supplies are relatively cheap compared to like some other hobbies that you could have. You can get like 500 beads for like $3, and that'll get you started. And you can start out with candy singles, little candy necklaces. And then if you want to go a little harder, you can do things that are a little harder. And then you can pretty much make anything with candy. And it's so cool. Yeah, I think it's an easy hobby to start. And then Pearl Necklace asks, hi, sweetie. How long have you been making candy? And what is your favorite thing to make? I love your cute mustache, by the way. Which, first of all, thank you. I'm a big fan of Pearl Necklace. I have been for years. I'm flustered now. So, I've been making candy for 13 years. And so, yeah, I started when I was 18 and I'm 31 now. I know, it's crazy. And I've had my YouTube channel where I've been teaching people how to make candy for 10 years. My favorite things to make are candy singles, peyote stitch cuffs, peyote stitch panels, and necklaces. And I often like to make like little peyote stitch like panel charms and like put them on the necklaces. One of my favorites is like the gay frog one. So it's like this little this little frog holding a gay pride heart, and then I put it on a necklace. And I think my second favorite one is I made like an avocado panel, and then the necklace says, "It's an avocado. Thanks." Anyway, yeah, so that's my favorite stuff to make. And then I will microwave Sonic. Side note, I've always really liked my subscribers' usernames. So like back in the day before I had 40,000 subscribers, back in the day when I had like 300 subscribers or less, like they used to email me every time someone would subscribe and tell me what their username was. And I was just like, I was so like amused. You guys have the funniest usernames. Unfortunately, they don't do that anymore. I kind of wish they did. Anyways, nice username. What's your favorite candy you've ever made? Probably my Unis Honest Hourglass, which I'll try to like insert a picture somewhere. It's like this big, and it took probably 8 hours to assemble after I made the design. It was crazy. So yeah, I keep that hanging on the wall. I keep like several of my candy things on the wall, some that I made, some that other people made. And then I will microwave Sonic also asks, What is your least favorite piece of candy you've ever made? And that would have to be, I made this like massive panel, like this big, of Ryu from Street Fighter. And it was a commission that I like designed specifically for this person. And then they returned it because one of the beads was like a slightly different shade from the other beads. I don't know, it was like a factory defect or something. And they returned it because it bothered them so much. And then nobody else wanted it. So, after like, I don't know how long of trying to like get rid of it, give it to somebody else, nobody wanted it. So, I just took it apart and used the beads for other stuff. That was a time. Quacked Candy asks, what keeps you inspired? So my community is what keeps me inspired. Like other people who make candy or people who watch my videos, they always have really great ideas. People will comment like, hey, can you make this? Or they'll tell me what they made. And, I follow a lot of candy creators on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and I see what they make. And that's pretty much how I get inspired. And, Yuri Makis asks, sorry, I don't know if I said that right. Let me know. Is that how you pronounce that? Anyways, what do you do when you have candy block or burnout? So, I tend to ask other people what I should make, and they always have ideas. I'll just be like, hey, YouTube, what should I make? And then people will just be like, oh, you should make this. And like, there's always an idea there. You can also kind of take a little break. One of the other things that I get inspiration from often is like memes. So I'll think to myself like, what's my favorite meme right now? Like, and that'll give me some kind of idea. Like I've done, like back when Among Us was big, I did a bunch of Among Us meme bracelets. I did the ooh tiny baby. I don't know if you guys know that one, but it has something to do with like a cat and like a baby shirt. I don't know. Then there was the like it's an avocado, thanks. I'm probably gonna make something to do with Labubus soon. Stuff like that. And then, like I'll watch other people's candy content. I'll be like, oh, that's really cool. I want to try that. But yeah, that's kind of like how I keep going. It's always okay to take a break. Sometimes if you have a block, that might mean you need a break. Let's see. Layla asks, have you ever made a candy doll or clown? I haven't. I have seen candy clowns and I think they're really cute. I am like so intimidated by any candy that's like a 3D object for some reason. So I just like don't tend to make that kind of stuff. But like I'm curious how they're made. So courtesy of Cole asks, what's your favorite thing about making candy? Giving them to others, making them, the experience of candy making, etc. And like, yeah, those are all things I love about candy, and it's so hard to pick a favorite thing. But I think my favorite thing about candy is like when people comment on my tutorials and like they're just so excited that they just made the thing and like telling me like that they're gonna go trade it with their friends, and like that's what really warms my heart. Like that's my favorite thing. Just like knowing I'm helping people be able to make it and go out there and plur it up. That's my favorite thing. I don't really get to trade candy as much as I would like. Because I don't have a car and I'm broke. But like, I hope that'll change soon. Because I do love trading candy or just giving it away. So let's get to the transition related questions. So Sensory Dragon asks, okay, I got a question. How did you find out you're trans? So I love this question. It was Slumber Reads, the YouTuber, and Trans Girl Twitter. So Slumber Reads was one of my favorite YouTubers at this time. I listened to a lot of like creepypasta narrations back in the day. And she came out as a trans woman, and then she made a public Twitter account. And I was like, well, I'm a huge fan of Slumber Reads. I've never been on Twitter before, but I'm going to make an account just to follow her. And then, like, from there, I started following a bunch of other trans girls, and I ended up on Trans Girl Twitter, which is I think Musk ruined it, but back then it was a beautiful place. It was really fun. And I started to learn a lot about trans women there and listen to their stories and their feelings. And I started to relate to them really hard. And I was like, wait, I feel the same way they do. But about always feeling like I was supposed to be a boy. And that's how my egg cracked. So shout out to Slumber Reads. I don't really listen to creepypasta narrations anymore, but she is very talented and funny and really pretty. So I don't know, maybe go drop her a follow. And now we have 2 more questions from I Will Microwave Sonic. How old were you when you found out you were trans? So I was 27. And then how many pride parades have you been to? That's all. I love the vids. Thank you so much. I've only been to 1 pride parade. That was in 2023, and it was an amazing experience. Like, it was like, I lived in kind of a smaller city, so it wasn't like a crazy big event. So I wasn't expecting how many people were gonna be there. And I was just so excited when I saw, like, the sheer amount of people who came out to support my community. And like, I was like crying. Like, I was so happy when the parade was going through. And I also got to trade candy with someone. That's how I got this cool non-binary candy cuff. So, and then, yeah, that was my first and the only Pride Parade I've been to so far, but I had a great time, and I want to go again sometime. Evie's Life W9Q asks, how old were you when you came out? So I was 29. Shortly after I figured out I was trans, I kind of came out as like non-binary, because like, while I am non-binary, I'm a non-binary trans man. But I came out as just non-binary, like, neither type when I was like 27 or 28. And like, so basically when I first realized that I was trans, I didn't feel safe to come out as a trans man, because I was married to someone who, you know, at first when he started hearing about trans people, he was very transphobic. And then, you know, after a few gentle suggestions from me and pushback towards that, he started basically saying that he was an ally and trying to act like an ally, but It was still clear to me that he had a lot of baggage surrounding trans people and just queer people and queerness in general. So I'd have to say that he is a fake ally. So I knew that it wasn't safe to come out as a trans man while we were married. And we did end up getting a divorce for unrelated reasons. To my, it wasn't related to my transition, but at that point is when I finally felt safe to come out. So that's why I didn't come out until I was 29. Snooply K8Q asks, how did you tell your mom you were trans? My whole family pretty much found out I was trans when I posted about it on Facebook. I don't think that was the best choice for me to do, but, it is what it is, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. Alex the Therian 2013 asks, are you gonna change your name? If so, what will it be? And I really love this question because it's kind of cool to hear from someone who only knows me by my new name. Hazel is my new chosen name. And I actually got the idea from Watership Down. And that's also my eye color. But yeah, so I changed it 2 years ago. Martha Housemaster123 asks, why did you decide not to go on HRT? And unfortunately, that wasn't a choice. I don't have access to HRT. So a few months ago, it was Pride Month, when I had to completely uproot my life and move out of state. When I was there, I had an appointment set up for HRT, and I had, Medicaid that would have covered it. So yeah. And because of me having to leave before my appointment and losing my Medicaid because I moved out of state, I was unable to go on HRT. I may be able to go on HRT in the future because I do want to. Now, not every trans person is going to want to go on HRT, but for me personally, I do. And yeah, I just have a lot of work to do. It's a lot harder in the state that I'm in. Yeah, I have to significantly increase my income first. And because, of this happening to me, I shifted my focus, from HRT to cheaper things. Cheaper things I can do. And that's kind of why I made a video sharing those things. Is because most trans people, I would say, probably don't have access to medical transition. Or at least a lot of us don't. And so I want to share the things that you can do that aren't medical, like binders and, packers and just for men 1 day beard and brow color. Stuff anyone can do without a prescription. And that's compared to HRT and surgery, a little more affordable. But yeah, even if you don't have access to medical transition, you can still live your best trans life. That's what I'm gonna do. And then we have our last question from Legit Octoling. Hi Hazel, what is your favorite thing about being trans? I love hearing more positive stuff from other trans guys like myself. So my favorite thing about being trans is just being unapologetically myself. I like looking how I want to look. I like acting how I want to act. And I love that I threaten the cis hetero patriarchy just by existing. I love wearing my cute little outfits and getting a little gender euphoria. And I love meeting other queer people because queer people are just like so free and fun. And, you know, even if we don't have equal rights, even if we don't have equal rights, I mean free as in a state of mind, you know? And I just think that trans people are really cool for being ourselves, even though people don't want us to. And I know things are hard for us right now. They really are. So if you're trans, just know you're a badass. And I think you're cool just for being you. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see another video like this. And you can leave your follow-up questions in the comments down below. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And until next time, peace, love, unity, and respect.